Hello everyone, I wanted to do a simple quick video just to show you how you can use PathPilot for thread milling. It has some built-in features that make it pretty easy to do. You don't have to do any cam or anything like that. You can just do it directly in here with their conversational stuff. This is really useful if you want to put threads into kind of annoying materials like titanium. I've done this a few times, but I've never really showed the process. So let's first take a look at thread mills, and then I'll get into showing you how to do all this in PathPilot. So what is thread milling? Well, thread milling is using these little guys, which are called thread mills. They have these little triangular points on the end of them, and really quite simply, you just feed them down into the part that you're going to be milling, and it just kind of spirals around like that, and that is what creates your internal or external threads. You can do this process on the inside of a diameter or on the outside. It doesn't really matter. So it's an easy way to add threads to something that might be tricky to thread otherwise. For instance, even with a really nice spiral fluid tap, threading titanium can be a real pain, and I've had a lot of issues with doing it, like on these parts that I showed in a previous video. So even the tap just really wasn't working out. So using something like this is much easier and more reliable, and you get the benefit of creating exactly the type of threads that you want, if you want them a little bit tight or if you want them a little coarse. Or heck, even if you just don't have the right tap on hand, you can use a thread mill instead. Now, as you see here, I have a couple different sizes of thread mills. You will need to get a thread mill for every size that you're going to be doing. I think this is like for, I don't know, maybe number 6, number 8. This is going to be for like 8, 10, 12. And then this is going to be for, 1/4 inch or 3/8, something like that. I'm just kind of making up some of these numbers. But you will need to get a thread mill that has the size range that will correspond to what kind of thread you're going to be doing. Unfortunately, thread mills aren't really that cheap, but you can get them from a few different places, and if you treat them nice, like any end mill, they should last for a while. I got these two from Tormach, and I actually got this one, I think, from Amazon or eBay. They're pretty common, so you can go to your favorite tool supplier. You can go to Shar's, you can go to Tormach, you can go to eBay, Amazon, wherever you want to buy these. You can get a set of them, but it probably will cost you a good amount of money, or you can just get the common sizes that you will be using most. Thread milling in PathPilot is pretty straightforward, but there's just a couple little things that you need to look out for. The first thing that you want to do is go into your offsets tab, and you're going to need to set up your thread mills in your tool table. I have a 1/4 inch and a 3/8 inch here, and the biggest thing that you want to pay attention to is the diameter. The diameter is the diameter of the flutes on the outside, very similar to what you would do with an end mill. You don't really have to measure this. What you could do is just look at the manufacturer specifications, and I basically just copied these directly from that and then set the length with my little height gauge. So that's the first thing that you need to do, is set these up in your offsets in your tool table. From here, the next step is we go over to conversational, and you see all the way here up at the top, we have thread mill. Now this has a lot of pretty self-explanatory things here. We've got our G54 work offsets. You're probably going to keep that the same. You're going to select your actual tool number that you just set up, set the RPM, feed rates, Z-clear, all of that good stuff. And then over here, we can set up external or internal. So for this demonstration, I'm going to do internal. We can do the number of passes. This is largely going to be up to you and how you feel with things. I usually do a few different passes, so I'm just going to set 3 here. And then here, you actually are setting up the actual threads that you're doing. So for this demonstration, I don't know, let's just do 1/4 20. And that is going to set all of this information down here. So you don't need to manually set any of this up, which is really nice. It just kind of feeds in from your table here, and it has pretty much whatever you could want in here. So I'm just going to go back 1/4 20, and it does major diameter, minor diameter, pitch, all of this. You can even adjust this a little bit if you want more of a snug fit or if you want a looser fit. I've definitely adjusted this in titanium because it tends to be a really tight fit, so I'll open this up just a little bit. And then the other thing to talk about is the Z clear, the Z start. So here it has the start at 50 thou above the workpiece, and then we're going to end at half an inch down. So let's just do, I don't know, like -0.2. 2. We're just not going to go down that much. You can also do left-hand threads and right-hand threads. So all of this is pretty self-explanatory. So at this point, you might think that you're done, but you need to do one more thing. If we try and post to file, you can see that we need to fill in the XY locations in the drill table. So if we go back to conversational, you can see that it automatically brings us to the drill table. So this is where you set all the locations. So we can just simply do like 0, 0, and we have this as a location. So it's really that simple. You can add in all your different hole locations here, but this is located in the drill tab so that when we go over to the thread mill and hit post, let's set up internal thread, sure. Now we have this. So this is the tool path. We're going to come down, we're going to spiral, there's going to be 3 or so passes in there, and it's going to be at the 0, 0 location because that's what I specified as the drill location. The last final note that I think I have for this is if we go back into conversational, you can see the depth of cut here. The nice thing that I like about this is it doesn't just simply do a different width, because if you have this triangular cutting and you just go out, 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 the amount that you're cutting is just going to substantially increase each time. This kind of does a nice progressive cut to where it leads in the flute edge like that, so you get the roughly the same amount of cutting force each time, which is kind of nifty. And then all we have to do is go over here, everything looks good, we can just go hit cycle start. It's pretty simple stuff. Thread milling is really useful. It probably won't save you time over standard tapping for most materials, but for tricky materials or outside threads or weird threads, it's actually very handy and very useful and easy to do in PathPilot. So hopefully this video gives you a little better idea into what thread milling is, what you need, and how to use PathPilot to accomplish making your own internal and external threads on your Tormach CNC machine. As always, thanks for watching. Check out the links below, check out my Facebook page for updates, and I'll see you again in the next video. Thanks for watching.